Welcome to New Car Spin. I'm your host Brian. Please like and subscribe. Show your support for this video because it's gonna be rockin'. It's a beautiful weekend and it's because of the perfect weather. It's because of something else too, and I'm sure you can see in the reflection of my shades what's going on here. This is one of those moments where I have to remind myself this is actually work and I should be doing my job and I shouldn't be having so much fun. And that's because I have the 2018 Volkswagen Golf GTI SE manual. Now, for 2018, they modified this vehicle by giving it 220 horsepower. On the SE and the Autobahn edition, they have Golf R brakes, red brake calipers right here. They also have the torque sensing electronically controlled limited slip diff with VS something or whatever it's called, XSD. I haven't taken the class on the GTI apparently, so I don't know everything that there is to know. This Golf for 2018, at least in the SE and the Autobahn trim, is the Golf worth looking at. Now, I've always said the Golf GTI SE was the one to get, but for 2018 they ditched the fender stereo, so unfortunately the Autobahn is now the one to get. But the SE on its own is $31,000 and change, and beyond the appearance of the wheels, which I really don't care for, this is a great car. I will show you a few of the features and then we're going to go for a drive. I also have an A3 in the garage, which I'll show you. I'll do a separate video where I will compare the GTI SE manual to an A3 Prestige Quattro. So obviously it's going to be night and day difference, but I want to show you the key reasons why. So first off, I like how the red trim here incorporates into the headlights. That's very snazzy. These are LED lights, by the way, standard for 2018 on the SE and Autobahn. You'll also see the Volkswagen logo is now pretty much filled in, and that's actually the radar sensor. That radar sensor is actually included, and it's used for auto emergency braking. This car also has rear camera, and pretty much it's decked out, and it has a 6-year 72,000 mile warranty for 2018. So the only option on here really is the leather seat, and as opposed to the standard GTI plaid cloth, we now have a bitchin' interior. We also have red contrast stitching. You notice we have 3 pedals, it's proper, and the large screen. So while some of you may go, oh, the Golf has been updated, it has a large screen, look beyond the tech here and understand it has the brakes from the Golf R, and even though this is the front wheel drive version, the Golf R is the all-wheel drive version. This thing is putting the Golf R on notice, mainly because of the way it grips when you accelerate hard. It has manual climate control. Obviously you can get the Autobahn edition for like $35,000, and you get the fender stereo, you get park assist, which will actually steer and brake and maneuver the vehicle while you're parking. But in the SE, we now have a sunroof. So the SE is well equipped, but the Autobahn is just a little bit more better. Get my English? I want to show you something too back here. We still have a spare wheel, which means Volkswagen isn't using run flat tires on their GTI, which means that they are pretty much light wheels, light tires, and the performance should be really good. I will show you that. Let's hop in the car, shall we? I've always disliked the location of this USB port here in the Golf. I wish they had one out here in the open. This is actually to hold your parking card if you have one, and 2 quarters if you need spare change to park. But the bin here isn't big enough for my Ray-Ban Aviators case, because this part here protrudes, and well, it's annoying to say the least. That's really the only problem I have with the Golf. Now we do have a hatch up here, my sunglasses department, or compartment as we shall say, and it will fit them, but at least we're accommodating that. Beyond the sunglasses though, there's not much you can fit in there because of this hump in the lid. So that's my only complaint about the Volkswagen Golf. And this is every Volkswagen Golf. This isn't just the GTI or the Golf R. This is basically the only problem I have with the Golf is the location of the USB port. Mainly because the cable's long, right? Look at my cable, and my phone has to flop around, and I'm driving a manual, and the phone won't fit in here completely with this long cable. I can get a shorter cable, but you know, stuffing all this stuff in here and closing the lid, it's just, I don't know. This is a cleaner look to me, and I'd rather have this look than the look with a grate. I can't open it now. You see, I'd rather discover this than Volkswagen customers discovering this problem. I'll have to sort that out later, but for now, let's start this puppy up. Foot on the clutch, press on the park stop start button. Excellent logos. Welcome to Volkswagen. GTI, it's a good look. Our LED headlights calibrate, they spread out, they fan up and down, they kind of come to center. Everything's happening here when you start this puppy up, and it sounds great. Just listen. Now, of course, that is a mode that we can change here with the mode button. So we press mode, and on the screen we have Eco, Normal, Sport, and Custom. I'll show you real quick because they've changed this for 2018. Custom, they've added more features that you can adjust. So, steering, drive system, front diff lock, hey, we're in Sport, and front lighting system, so it will actually corner in turns, and the engine sound. So I have Sport sound, and I have normal steering. I can switch between normal and Sport on all of these, or I can just hit Sport and everything is dialed up. Now obviously some of that sound is faked using what they call the sound actor in Volkswagen terms, and I think that's okay because, you know, you can still have fun, you can still make some noise inside, but at least when people look at you from the outside, they don't go, look at that tool in the GTI. You're still kind of conservative on the outside, but on the inside you're basically being tricked, but that's okay. I think that's fine. We also have storage compartment here for your little green bag, maybe another dime. Oh no, an SD slot. There we go, SD card holder. And as far as the glove box, which isn't lockable, we have more storage for more SD cards, and we also have an SD card reader, and even more storage for more things, just little things that can flop around, with the exception of Taco Bell hot sauce. Everything can get locked down in this cabin. It's very nice. I also like these seats. Very well bolstered, almost too well bolstered for someone my size, but at the same time, enjoyable. Well, what do you say we go for a ride? Brake off, we go into reverse by pushing down, and camera engages, which comes out of the little VW logo in the trunk, and just feather off the clutch, and oh, here we go, we're backing up. Now in the Autobahn you get Park Pilot, which will actually use the sensors and brake the vehicle, keep you from hitting objects when you're backing up and stuff like that, so it's pretty cool. But for now, we will just go down the street here and I'll let you get a tour for what it sounds like. Feast in the goodness of the sound of this vehicle. So the clutch is great, but the pedal feel is a little lackluster. You have to drive it really hard to get any use out of it. When you're in stop and go traffic, as long as you don't go over 3,000 RPM, it's a pretty decent drive for low speed situations. But in normal driving, like getting on the on-ramp, your best bet is to just floor it and shift real aggressively and just take the car by the nuts and put it where you want it to be. That's the best way to go with the GTI. Now, part of this limited slip electronic differential and sending power to each corner up to 100%, what it means is you can put your foot down in the corner and you can feel it sorting out the delivery of that power, but it's not torque steering the vehicle at all. It's amazing. there's no sensation that this is actually a front-wheel drive car. And because the front wheels have a wider track than the rear wheels, it feels a lot more planted than your typical front-wheel drive car. And this is typical of all Golfs, but the GTI in particular, the SE and the Autobahn trims, they are the ones worth looking at. So if you got the coin, definitely check out the Autobahn. But this being the SE, this should be your minimal Golf GTI expectation. Torque is just on hand. I love manuals because you can keep control over when you're going to upshift, when you're going to downshift. You're not constantly hunting for gears. And you can prepare yourself too when you want to take corners at ridiculous speeds. And you can actually, because you're in a Golf GTI. And the Bridgestone Potenza tires that come with it, they're okay. They're a little noisy for my taste, but I can only imagine what you can do with this thing when you put the correct tires on them. Engineered bumps, man. Now, if you upgrade your choice from the SE to the Autobahn version of the Golf GTI, the Autobahn version will actually give you that same adaptive suspension that you do get in the Golf R. So if you want a Golf R for $35,000, you're going to have to get the GTI Autobahn, and it'll be acceptable enough. But at that price range, you are pushing Audi A3 territory. So there you go, the Volkswagen Golf GTI SE with 6-speed manual. Highly recommended. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And check out my next video, GTI versus A3. See ya.
If you go like, can you hook it this way and pull it up? You know, there you go.
Well, the whole thing will be in the way.
Oh. Yeah, it'll probably still work. Oh yeah.
Okay, well that's how you fix it. You just brute force it. Okay.
Wow. That's crazy, man.